10 things only a true Marvel fan knows about Spider-Man 2099. Spider-Man 2099 significantly appears in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. While he might be the new character to the general public, comic book fans know that this version of Spider-Man has been in the Marvel Universe since the early 1990s. Miguel O'Hara was one of the first major Spider-Man variants in Marvel Comics, so fans welcome his appearance in the upcoming film. Despite his origins in the forgotten 2099 sub-universe, he becomes a fixture of the expanding Spider-Verse in the comics and the big screen. So here are the top 10 things only a true fan will know about Spider-Man 2099. Number 10. Spider-Man meets Spider-Man 2099 and how he is connected to the Spider-Verse. Miguel O'Hara and Peter Parker had previously met in a 1995 story titled Spider-Man 2099 Meets Spider-Man. The two main heroes swap places, with Miguel waking up next to Spider-Man's love interest, Mary Jane Watson. Miguel and Peter are swapped due to Alchemex's time travel experiments, which can potentially end the world in the present. It is a fun story that could influence both the animated film and the live-action MCU's exploration of the multiverse. Because of the comics, Spider-Man 2099 is already a part of the Spider-Verse. The 2014 Spider-Verse crossover event featured some of the best Spider-Man comic books of the decade. According to the plot, Miguel travels to the present to warn Peter Parker of an impending disaster caused by the evil Morlun. This could be portrayed in the animated film in some way. What is certain is the Spider-Man 2099 will interact with other Spider-Man variants from across the multiverse, including Lady Spider-Man and others, just as he does in the comic books. Number 9. Harbinger, Prophet of Thor. One of the most peculiar aspects of Spider-Man 2099's story is that many people believe he is a prophet. For example, the Thorites, a group of Thor devotees, believe Miguel represents the herald of Thor's return to Earth. Miguel used his armor to fight his pursuers and find a cure for his condition when he first mutated into a Spider-Man hero. However, as he worked, he realized he had been blind to the evil corporations like Alchemex was doing to the world, and his bravery began to inspire others, including his mother. Miguel decided to embrace his identity and became Spider-Man 2099. He soon discovered that Jordan Boone, an Alchemex scientist, had been experimenting with creating a portal into another dimension. As a result, two characters emerged, the Net Prophet and Thanatos. The Thorites believe the Net Prophet is Thor's prophet after he befriends Miguel. Spider-Man 2099 eventually discovers that Alchemex is using genetic experiments to transform ordinary people into Asgardians, including several people who believe they are Thor, resulting in a major battle between good and evil. Number 8. Wins and enters Alchemex School and becomes the head of genetics. As a child, Miguel O'Hara was a genius-level intellect who won admission to Alchemex's School for Gifted Children in Westchester, a revised version of Xavier's School for Gifted Children, otherwise known as the X-Men. Miguel was born in New York City at the tail end of the Heroic Age, a modern-day Marvel universe of heroes. After befriending a young girl named Xena who has the same level of intelligence as him, the two become close and end up dating as adults, and the relationship falls apart after Miguel has an affair. Miguel's journey to becoming Spider-Man began when he was appointed as head of genetics at Alchemex. His job was to create corporate super soldiers known as corporate raiders who could be controlled. He was inspired by Spider-Man's adventure in the main Marvel universe and hoped to create another version of the hero during his lifetime. Miguel feels guilty and tries to quit after a subject dies during his experiment, but the VP of R&D Tyler Stone tricks him into drinking an addictive substance to blackmail him. So instead, he conducts this experiment to rewrite his DNA to cure his addiction, but obtains half of his genetics from a spider. Well, do you know some of the classic Marvel heroes other than Spider-Man? If so, watch our video 10 Classic Marvel Heroes and how they compare to their modern counterparts, and let us know your favorite among them. Number 7. He has a dark future. Spider-Man 2099 comes from one of Marvel Comics' darkest future timelines, set a century after the present day of the Earth 616 universe. This future is entirely controlled by powerful corporations, the most powerful of which is Alchemex, and is involved in nearly every aspect of life worldwide. Miguel O'Hara runs the company's genetic engineering division, and it's through experiments to recreate the creation of Peter Parker's Spider-Man that he accidentally acquires his spider powers. However, they differ from the original in some ways. Number 6. takes down Alchemex's Valhalla. When Spider-Man 2099 faced Alchemex and their floating city dubbed Valhalla, he ushered in the first of many major crossovers between himself and the other Marvel 2099 heroes. There he discovered Alchemex was abducting ordinary citizens, bestowing them with the powers of Norse gods such as Thor and Heimdall, and brainwashing them into believing they were true gods. Spider-Man fought alongside Doom 2099, Ravage, X-Men 2099, and others to stop Alchemex from using brainwashed false gods to do their bidding. Unfortunately, Acer was defeated by the heroes, and Valhalla was destroyed as a result. Number 5. World of Tomorrow and TimeStorm. The first issue of Spider-Man 2099 was released in 1992 and co-created by writer Peter David and artist Rick Leonardi. By 1996, the concept had come to an end. The anthology series 2099 World of Tomorrow attempted to restart the future timeline just a few months after the main title ended. Spider-Man 2099 ended up in Latveria, the home of Doom 2099, one of Dr. Doom's most powerful variants. The comic continued a storyline that abruptly ended with the cancellation of the monthly Spider-Man 2099 title, but it was cancelled after only 8 issues. Moreover, Miguel O'Hara faded from view after the demise of the ongoing 2099 subline of comics. However, in TimeStorm 2009 to 2099, a mini-series that effectively rebooted Spider-Man 2099 for an audience, he made a big comeback. The inciting incident in this story has been changed from Miguel's genetic experiments to the titular TimeStorm, a massive temporal threat that eventually brings him into contact with his modern-day counterpart Peter Parker. The TimeStorm may be the central theme of the upcoming animated film. Number 4. Ushered in the Era of Peace. Spider-Man 2099 debuted in 2099 World of Tomorrow storyline after the conclusion of his original series. After the Phalanx, an alien race infected with the techno-organic virus, tries to conquer what is left of Earth after the polar ice caps melt and destroy much of the world, Spider-Man teams up with Doom 2099 to stop the alien invaders. Miguel rebuilds Alchemex, marries Xena, and resurrects Steve Rogers, giving him Mjolnir after Doom sacrifices himself to end the threat. However, Steve is soon launched into space and hands over Mjolnir to Miguel, who is worthy to wield it. He employs it to help him usher in 1,000 years of peace until 3099. Number 3. He has a rewritten DNA. That's exciting. The experiment rewrote Miguel O'Hara's DNA, giving him Peter Parker-like abilities such as superhuman strength, speed, stamina, and agility. In addition, he has razor-sharp fingernails that allow him to grip surfaces and attack enemies, in addition to the basic abilities of the original Spider-Man. He also has spinnerets which allow him to fire webbing that can sling around New York's towering future landscape. Unfortunately, Miguel does not have spider sense, but he is still one of the most powerful versions of Spider-Man. Number 2. The brother becomes the villain. Miguel's tenure as the head of Alchemex brought a slough of issues for Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2099 to deal with it. Not only does he have to deal with Venom 2099 as the symbiote has survived into the future and found a new host, but their battle also results in the death of his ex-girlfriend Dana. Later, a new goblin villain appears and begins slandering Spider-Man 2099. He discovers his brother Gabe is the Goblin while battling Neo-Atlantean citizens, discovering his mother had shot his birth father Tyler Stone, and facing untold threats. Naturally, Gabe grew jealous of his now heroic brother. Number 1. Trapped in the Past. It is believed that Miguel is trapped in the past following the events of Secret Wars. He attempts to leave his life as Spider-Man 2099 behind by accepting a job from Peter Parker to help run Parker Industries. However, he soon discovers a plot hatched by an organization known as the Fist. He collaborates with Roberta Mendez, Marvel 2099's Captain America, to stop threats and investigate the Fist. Unfortunately, Elektra discovers that the Fist is an offshoot of the Hand, who intends to destroy the United States. Miguel succeeds in stopping the Fist after several time travel adventures, but his life is taken to the process until he is returned in 2099 and revived by Doctor Strange 2099. So these are the 10 things only a true Marvel fan will know about Spider-Man 2099. What is your favorite part of the Spider-Man 2099 comic? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more uploads like this.